Welcome back, everyone. This is Elia, and we are in Lothering at the moment. We're just in the inn. We just finished encountering a group of armed thugs working for Loghain. They were looking for Grey Wardens who survived the battle at Ostagar, and they found us, and we chose to kill them rather than allow them to escape and bring word to Loghain. Odds are that Loghain will get word of us anyway, so let's continue where we left off. We have a bunch of quests in this village to do. Some of them we won't be able to accomplish just because of the profession selections that we have on the characters so far, but we will be able to do some of them. And then there's a bunch of other quests that we can do and a lot of talking to do, various people. Starting with this fella, Barlin.
You're here about food. Take it up with that bleeding runt by the chantry. I got other gear to sell.
You're out of food?
A whole mess of refugees come in and leave near every night. All have hungry bellies, sad tales, and mementos for barter. I sold that bleeding merchant outside about half my larder 2 weeks back, and now he's charging outrageous sums for all my food.
So, this guy got scammed, is what it sounds like. Either that, or someone is taking advantage of the current situation with refugees from Ostagar to charge outrageous prices. Now, we do have the option to go and talk with that fellow. We could have done that before coming and talking to this guy. This conversation is slightly different if you do that. But, or a lot different rather, depending on how you resolve that situation. So, we'll go over there eventually. You jealous you didn't think of that first?
Hardly. I may be a cantankerous old coot, but I'm not going to beggar everyone comes by for a loaf of bread.
Fair enough. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
You will? Odd thing to be doing, but we'd appreciate it.
And show me your goods. So, we're just checking to see if he has anything important. He has a few gifts there. I'm not going to bother with any of those though. And then just some potions and such. Now we can do our typical selling. It's good to make sure that you have lots of space inside of your backpack for when you go on into dungeons and that sort of thing. You won't always get the opportunity to look through your backpack and sell things. So if you can do it before venturing out and doing quests, it helps a lot. Why do I not have that equipped? It seems like something I probably want to have equipped. I don't remember. I probably equipped something else in its stead. Doesn't really matter though. This Warden's Oath, that's the amulet that Alistair gives you after the joining ritual. Just for clarification. Probably could have kept that willpower ring. That would have been good for Morrigan. So we're keeping all of the runes that I find. We're also keeping all of the herbs that I find and the jewels. I don't remember exactly which types of jewels that you need later, but I'm fairly confident that it's safe to sell Fluorspar and well, those two, essentially. I'm not sure about Greenstone, and I think it's best to keep the Ruby and Topaz just in case. This is safe to sell. That's for a character we'll get later. And the rest of it looks good, for the most part. Yeah. Okay,
You're here
so we can
about
talk
food.
to him
Take
again.
it up with that bleeding runt by the chantry.
The
I got
reason
other gear to sell.
we're talking with him again is because we can ask this question now. know of any well-paying work?
Check the chanter's board by the chantry. There's good jobs there. I don't suppose you know anything about poison?
So he's referring specifically to the profession poison, so you have to have someone in your party, whether it be yourself or one of your party members, who knows poison making. And Leliana knows poison making, so we can actually say that. Now, it's not entirely true that like my character has done that, but we can definitely get the poison, so...
I figured if I kept asking, I'd find someone. I'd pay good coin for some simple poison. Something to slow them beasties down or make them think twice.
Any idea where to get the ingredients?
Well, there's herbs in the North Wood. As for other stuff, look around town. Some refugees just left things behind to travel faster. I don't really know what you need, though. I might have some in stock, too.
Alright, farewell. Okay, so we might actually have what we need for that right away. So this is the poison making. What he's asking for is just venom extract. Like this one. Not the death root, the venom. So we need toxins. We only have one at the moment. I don't think that's enough, but we can craft it and talk to him just to make sure before heading out. If it's not enough, you can get more in the forest, but it does say quest updated there, so maybe...
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock?
Okay, no, it's not enough. Okay.
Sad to hear it. There should be enough around to make some. Even if it's just rat poison, I'll take it.
Yeah, I accidentally skipped that first line of dialogue. It doesn't matter either way. So if you want extra quests, you can talk to this fella here. I am going to do it because it's like extra experience, but we're not going to listen to what he actually has to say. I'm just going to skip the conversation because none of it is relevant to the story. It's just side quests. So how you can tell when you encounter one of these people is they will always have some kind of object sitting beside them, and eventually, after you've talked to the person in the first place, the object will become interactable, and that's where you get the quests from. So we have to talk to him. We're just gonna skip the conversation, like I mentioned before.
Times are getting worse every day.
So,
unlike most who work.
So I just said that we take a look at what quests he has to offer, and now we can interact with that chest, and it gives us a couple of quests. So all we have to do is hit accept. And then during our journeys, if we happen to complete one of the quests, when we pass by another one of these fellows, we will be able to turn in the quest. Now, we don't have to come back to Lothering in order to turn in the quests. We can go to any of the Blackstone irregular people. So they're the people that have a chest beside them. The other types of quests that are similar to this that you can find are Chantry board, so we'll go see one of those here in Lothering. And then there's the mages, something or other, I don't remember the exact name off the top of my head, but it'll be a mage standing here with a blue satchel on the ground beside him. Oh, Mages Collective, that's what it is. Just remembered. Okay, so we have those quests. We got the poison making quest, so we are good to go.
As you say.
That's like an unusually long loading screen.
There's not much to be had.
So
there isn't likely to be more anytime soon, that's for sure.
Before we go to the Chantry, I want to finish up the stuff that we can do on this side of the bridge, and then we'll go back over there to complete the Chantry stuff. So we're going to go over there to Sten, and then we need to talk to these two people in here. And we'll maybe talk with these first because they're less important. This is another one of the profession people. If you don't have it, don't talk to her. I don't have it, but I don't care about actually completing the quest. It's irrelevant. So.
Hello, stranger. I don't suppose you know anyone that can make traps?
What do you need traps for?
Old man Barlin said that Darkspawn may be coming soon. He's got traps on his farm. I figured I'd put a few on my lands. Barlin wants to poison his traps. I just want normal traps.
Barlin is the guy that we were talking to in the inn. Barlin has poison traps on his land. We already know that, so we don't need to ask that. Why don't you just buy some?
None to be had. Barlin has all the traps in the village in his fields.
Alright. And because we don't have trap making, we cannot accept this quest. So I'm going to say, sorry, I can't make traps.
I didn't mean to bother you. Sorry.
And as you can see, the quest marker disappears, so it's not an option to get that quest anymore. And that's why you do not talk to her unless you actually have someone who can make traps. So if you want to be able to do that quest...
Morrigan, do you believe in the Maker?
Oh.
Certainly not. I've no primitive fear of the moon, such that I must place my faith in tales so that I may sleep at night.
But this can't all be an accident. Spirits, magic, all these wondrous things around us, both dark and light. You know these things exist.
The fact of their existence does not presuppose an intelligent design by some absentee father figure.
So it is all random then. A happy coincidence that we are all here.
Attempting to impose order over chaos is futile. Nature is, by its very nature, chaotic.
I don't believe that. I believe we have a purpose. All of us.
Yours, apparently, being to bother me.
Alright, I just wanted to let them have their little conversation before continuing. So yeah, if we don't have anyone that can actually make traps, we can't accept the quest, and we didn't. But if you do want to actually complete that quest, when you get Alistair in your group, if you remember, he actually had slots available that you could edit his skills enough to the point that you could actually give him trap making. I did not do that. Or I actually might have, and then I changed it. But regardless, he doesn't have it on my playthrough, so if you want that quest, give Alistair trap making or get it yourself when you're leveling up in the origin story area. This one you'll be able to do regardless though, because Morrigan has herbalism and this is for herbalism. So just make sure you have Morrigan with you when you talk to this lady.
You got a bed for the night? You taken care of?
What's going on here?
Ever since good King Cailan passed, refugees and soldiers have been passing through. I'm the elder here, and I've my hands full making sure refugees don't turn to petty theft, or worse. Sir Bryant at the Chantry is seeing to matters of defence and such. He'd have more of an ear for your type.
She might have been overworking herself. So we can talk to her again.
And not enough time.
Do you need any help?
I don't suppose you know anything of tonics, medicines, or herbs.
No. But in this case, I do.
Then
Usually it
maybe
has...
do us a lot of good. All manner of travellers come through, many injured or sick. We do our best, but we're out of supplies. There's medicinal herbs in the woods to the north. If you make a few poultices, I'll scrape together some sort of payment. I'll write all you need to know in this note here.
Alright, so if you actually do not have herbalism with your main character, there will be an optional dialogue that pops up there that says, I don't, but my friend here does. And that's referring to Morrigan. So, there's that, and if I switch to Leliana, we should be able to open this chest.
I'll do it.
There we go.
How dare you accuse? I saw you take the supplies from my car. Your grassland eyes are inept. A chastened would never stoop to petty theft. You marsh folk are all thieves and liars.
Enough! People here are already desperate and frightened. They don't need you two coming to blows.
But what about my food?
I said enough!
So, that seems pointless after the fact, just because these folk walk away and then they just disappear. And you don't have the option to actually get anything from these two. It's just
the carnage we left in the wilds was horrifying.
Random dialogue that comes up instead. However, I have played through this once where I came and did the same interaction, and one of these two people had a quest for me afterward. I don't remember how to activate that though. So that might be a thing. Maybe I'm just like full of myself and confusing it with another game. That could be the case.
You know.
Oh, Alistair was gonna say something, but I heard it, but he stopped. I must have got too close to this fella.
You aren't one of my captors. I have nothing to say that would amuse you, elf. Leave me in peace.
Yeah, what are you?
A prisoner. I'm in a cage, am I not? I've been placed here by the Chantry.
The revered mother said he slaughtered an entire family, even the children.
It is as she says. I am Sten of the Beresad, the vanguard of the Kunari peoples.
So, in later games, like in all of the other games, in fact, the Kunari that you encounter will have horns. This is like an earlier model of the Kunari, so the Kunari in this game specifically do not have horns. We probably would have read about it in the tower, so I'm not going to ask about the Kunari. It's just basically like a Muslim-like people, essentially, because their religion and their way of life are like one and the same, and everything is centered around that specific ideology, and they call themselves Kunari. The closest thing I can think of in like real life would be Muslims. Now that's like just painting it with a really broad stroke, but it's close enough that you might be able to get a general comparison. So, I am Elia. Pleased to meet you.
You mock me. Or you show manners I have not come to expect in your lands. Though it matters little now, I will die soon enough.
This is a proud and powerful creature, trapped as prey for the Darkspawn. If you cannot see a use for him, I suggest releasing him for mercy's sake alone.
Mercy? I wouldn't have expected that from you.
I would also suggest that Alistair take his place in the cage.
Yes, that's what I would have expected.
I suggest you leave me to my fate.
So that was a really good example of how the characters that you bring with you can actually interact in the conversations that you have with people in the world. So there is a possibility to get Liliana to say something during this conversation, but it didn't come up this time. I don't know what the exact triggers are for it. It might just be that we haven't gone to the Chantry yet, which could be it. Regardless, it is possible to get like different characters to react to certain situations, and some of them just won't react at all to a given situation, regardless of who else you have in the party. So don't fret over it too much unless you like to explore the different dialogue options, I suppose, to familiarize yourself with the characters of each of the party members you can potentially have. I find myself in need of skilled help.
No doubt. What help do you seek?
Yeah, let's just tell him the truth. I'm sworn to defend the land against the Blight.
The Blight? Are you a Grey Warden, then?
Yes, I am.
Surprising. My people have heard legends of the Grey Warden's strength and skill. Though I suppose not every legend is true.
So he can be condescending at times. It's great. He's fun to have around. Or he can be. It depends on, I guess, whether you understand where he's coming from or not. So he's a lot like Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He takes most things very literally. Would the revered mother let you free?
Perhaps if you told her the Grey Wardens need my assistance. It seems as likely to bring my death as waiting here.
Alright, I'll leave you now.
Farewell, then.
To be left here to starve? Or to be taken by the Darkspawn? No one deserves that. Not even a murderer.
Alright, so that gave us a quest to get Sten free. But, in order to cheat that, what we can do is just unlock his cage, as long as you have a rogue with you. So if you either recruited Leliana or you are a rogue yourself, you should be able to pick the cage lock and just set Sten free without having to go to the Chantry. Now, we're not a big fan of the Chantry, but we do need to go to the Chantry anyway, so we're gonna not pick the lock and we're just gonna go to the Chantry and see what's up with that. It should be...
So tell me something, Morrigan.
Yeah.
Did you live there in that forest your entire life?
I left it on occasion, but I always returned. Why? Is that so strange? It was my home.
But it was just you and your mother there? No one else?
Mother occasionally had company.
What? Company? Do I even want to ask?
No, you really don't.
And that makes me really curious about the company that Flemeth was keeping. I imagine it's probably a reference to like spirits and demons, but it could be something much different. That's just my own personal speculation. Demons and spirits. So
The Chanters are still operating their board. Now that's dedication.
alright, so this is a Chantry board. It's just like the Blackstone Irregular thing that I mentioned before. You see the guy, Chanter, standing with a board beside him instead of the big chest. Now this one we don't have to actually talk with him to activate it. It'll be the same with, or similar to the Mage Collective, but we can talk to him anyway.
And Eileen spoke unto the masses, my hearth is yours, my bread is yours, my life is yours. For all who walk in the sight of the Maker are one.
So what he's speaking there, those are lines from something called The Chant, and it's like a novel-sized lyrical poem, essentially, or a prayer that describes the word of their God, who is the Maker, essentially. Who are you exactly? Now, because he's a chanter, he's not actually allowed to speak. Now, we can play along, or ask him outright, or tell him he's being nonsensical. Regardless of what you do, the boy here beside him will chime in to explain the situation.
Let all repeat the chant of light. Only the word dispels the darkness upon us.
He can't answer you. He's chanted Devons.
Just to give you a little bit more familiarity, what's a chanter?
One of them that can only say the chant of light. His board has letters of good deeds to be doing. My father fixed Widow Allison's roof once, and the charter paid him, he did.
A learned child is a blessing upon his parents and onto the Maker.
Anything interesting on the board?
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
I go look at the board. There's a quest there. There will be new quests on there if we complete that one. So we're gonna, before we go in there to that yelling person, we're gonna do a quick conversation with this merchant. This should be the one that Barlin, or whatever his name was, in the inn was talking about.
Back off. I have the right to charge what I wish.
You profit from their misfortune. I should have the Templars give away everything in your carts.
You wouldn't dare. Any of you step too close to my goods and I'll...
It's so nice to see everyone working together in a crisis. Warms the heart.
Oh, you there. You look able. Would you care to make a tiny profit helping a beleaguered businessman?
Get rid of the tiny part, and I'll consider it.
Haha, I'm not the only one with some business sense.
He is charging outlandish prices for things people desperately need. Their blood is filling his pockets.
There's been so many of these men lately. Heartless opportunists, all.
'Tis only survival of the fittest. All of these cretins would do the same in his shoes, given the chance.
I have limited supplies. The people decide what those supplies are worth to them.
You bought most of your wares from these very people last week. Now they flee for their lives, and you want to talk business?
Look, stranger, I've 100 silvers if you drive this rabble off, starting with that priest. I'm an honest merchant, nothing more.
So you have many options here, and you can base it around your character's general personality. Now, we don't really care for the chantry, like, at all. We don't care whatsoever about it. And this guy is just doing business. He's charging outlandish prices, sure, but it's not really any concern of ours, so we don't care. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that sometimes when you're in conversations like this, your party members, when they chime in on the conversation, they're giving you subtle hints about how they feel about the situation, and sometimes that can indicate whether or not they're going to approve or disapprove of your choice. Alright, can you beat that offer, sister?
You want me to bid against him? We don't have that kind of coin.
What do I get if I help you? That is a good option, but we don't like the chantry, so we're not gonna press it. It's time for you to go, isn't it?
Must we help this man? It simply feels so dirty.
You would actually do the bidding of this evil little man?
Absolutely. Off you go.
Fine. May your heartlessness bring you exactly what you deserve.
A fine sentiment, if I've ever heard one.
You're so nice. I bet you make allies everywhere you go.
Must we make the lot of these poor people even harder?
Ha! Serves that wench right. You have my thanks. And 100 silvers, yes?
So, if you kill him, he actually has items that you can purchase off of him that are of use, including a backpack. So if you kill him, you don't get the backpack. But if it's within your character's personality to kill him, then by all means do so. And we don't really think he's doing anything terribly wrong, but we could kill him and steal his stuff. Do we care enough to do that, though? You know what? Yeah, let's do it. I hear you're making a killing. Me too.
You're just killing him? Are you mad?
I thought he was an opportunist. You should be pleased.
Sometimes you can get what you want and still not be very happy.
What? Help! Someone?
So, as you can see, Liliana really did not like that. Alistair just didn't like it, and Morriston was like, Morrigan approved a little bit. So that's a good example of just how drastically some of those conversation choices can impact the approval ratings of characters. To give you a glimpse, we went from being like right in the middle there, all the way to the -30. So the max disapproval you can get is -100, and max approval you can get is +100. So. Alright. Let's go talk with that yelling folk over here.
Evil shall defend. The legions of evil are on your doorstep. They will feast upon our hearts. There is nowhere to run. This evil will cover the world like a plague of locusts. Please, you're scaring the children. Better to slit their throats now than let them suffer at Darkspawn hands. There! One of their minions is already amongst us. This woman bears their.
I love how Elia looked over her shoulder. She's like, "What?"
Vile blackness that fills her.
This is great. Is no one going to shut this madman up?
Be my guest. I've no urge to try out that axe of his.
I watched the Black Horde descend on my people. Darkness swallowed the marshes whole. This minion is but the first of those who will destroy us.
Yeah, that's enough. This ends now.
No! Do not touch me! You bring evil and destruction! It is the end!
He was right, wasn't he? There's no hope for us.
Get out of here, all of you. Get moving.
Why is this happening?
So that was just a little echo after the conversation of him. However, if you don't actually scare him off or quiet him down or whatever else that you can think of, you have to resolve that, otherwise he will just continue shouting like he was doing before.
Maybe with that blasted chasing gone, my headache will go as well.
It's good to see you again, Sister Liliana.
Thank you, Sir Merrin.
Who's in charge here?
The revered mother runs the chantry itself, and Sir Bryant heads the Templars stationed here.
Did you know there were bandits on the highway?
Were? Did you drive them off? Well,
Sure
Sir
did.
Bryant will appreciate that.
Have you heard any news?
Not since Tairn Logain passed by with his army. It's a shame about the king. But with the Darkspawn coming, few can think of anything else.
Can you tell me anything about the caged Kunari?
Is he still alive? The revered mother put him there a few weeks back. He'll be dead soon enough.
So, Sten, the Kunari that was in the cage that we talked to earlier, this is just letting you know that he's been in that cage for a few weeks now, and he's been in there with no food or water.
Make her watch over you.
So Kunari in general, they have like a higher endurance level than typical other humanoid beings in this world. So they can survive a little longer without sustenance.
There's word of Darkspawn.
Are you here to see the Reverend Mother too?
No. And yes. Where is she?
In her office arranging for everyone to leave, I suppose. I don't think she's with anyone right now. I came to ask for a blessing. With my family abandoning the farm to flee north, we'll need all the grace the Maker can offer. Well, good luck to you. I need to get underway. If I'm lucky, I'll make it back to the farmhold by nightfall.
We are the only hope of protection this village has now, and I will not abandon them. That is all. May the Maker have mercy on us.
Okay, so this is Sir Brian.
Yes, my lady? Who might you be?
I'm the Grey Warden, Elia.
I see. I am Sir Bryant, commander of the Lothering Templars. Tairn Logain declared all Grey Wardens traitors responsible for the king's death. You know this, I hope.
I've heard the rumors.
I don't believe the Grey Wardens would be as careless or malicious as the Tairn claims. But either way, there it is. It is best you not linger, though. Just in case.
About those bandits outside the village.
Maker's breath, how many times must we drive them off?
Well, they won't bother you again, I killed them.
All of them? By yourself?
It's true. I saw it from my post. It was over so fast we didn't even have time to get over there.
Sad that it needed to come to that. But then they asked for it. Will you accept a small reward for your service?
Perhaps I could keep an eye out for trouble for the right pay.
I wish I could afford such help, to be truthful. Take your reward, at any rate. It is all I have to offer. If it interests you, there is a Chanters board outside full of quests that need doing. The Chanters even offer pay for some of them. Now, unless there's something else you need.
I need information.
If the matter is important, certainly.
Are you in charge?
The revered mother leads this flock. I merely command her Templars. Normally, our role is to protect the Chantry and seek out unsanctioned magic. For now, it is all we can do to protect the innocent.
So this is showing you a little bit of the hierarchy with the Templars and such. So the Templars, regarding the Circle of Magi, all of them are commanded by the Chantry. So they basically operate as a militarized unit of the Chantry, in a sense. Do you know that I'm a mage?
As am I.
I have no time to even think about such things right now. My concern is protecting these people. I see nothing threatening them other than the Darkspawn.
Good answer. Where would I find the revered mother?
In her study, no doubt. Preparing what she will take when we eventually evacuate.
Are you the only protection this village has?
Our ban was summoned by Tairn Logain, and he took his soldiers north with him. Lothering has been abandoned.
Another good deed of Tairn Logain there. Tell me about something else.
If the matter is important, certainly.
Have you heard any recent news?
Other than the Darkspawn horde bearing down on us, none of it is good. Teyrn Loghain is set to declare himself king, I hear. Disaster piled on disaster.
So King Cailan had no heir?
None that we know of. Teyrn Loghain has no legitimate claim on the throne. He may be a hero and his daughter may be queen, but he is a commoner, and the king's corpse is barely cold. If Arl Eamon was able to intervene, perhaps it would not have gone this far. I do not care who takes the throne. Only fools fight over who owns a cottage while it burns down around them.
What's wrong with Arl Eamon?
Arl Eamon has fallen ill, and his knights are on a quest for the sacred urn filled with Andraste's ashes, said to cure any malady. He must be very ill if they chase miracles as the only cure. One of the Arl's knights, Sir Donnell, is here searching for fantasies while... Never mind. Ask him if you care about this foolishness.
So the person he's talking about is just off screen there, to the right. We'll talk to him after this conversation. Is there any other help you can offer?
I cannot openly help you, I fear, but... Here, take this key. It opens the large cabinet on the far wall. There is more there than we can carry when we evacuate, so take what you need.
So you can actually see the cabinet he's referring to on the screen here. It's right over there behind that statue and behind the chanter or priest or whoever. I think that's enough questioning this good fellow for now.
Travel safely, and may the Maker watch over you.
And when the Maker spoke,
I beg your pardon. I did not see you approach.
Sir Donnell? Is that you?
Alistair? By the Maker, how are you? I was certain you were dead.
Not yet. No thanks to Teyrn Loghain.
If Arl Eamon were well, he'd set Loghain straight soon enough.
So you're here looking for the Urn of Sacred Ashes, then?
I am indeed. Andraste's ashes are said to cure any illness. But I fear we are chasing a fable. With each day, my hope dims.
Shouldn't you be fleeing the Darkspawn?
My mission takes priority. But I fear I shall be returning to Redcliffe with nothing to show for my efforts.
I was hoping to meet the Arl, in fact.
Why is that, if I may ask?
We need his help against Teyrn Loghain.
I see. The Arl is a popular man, it's true. Teyrn Loghain, however, is a hero throughout Ferelden. Whatever the Teyrn has done or not done, the Arl remains ill, or worse. That is my primary concern.
Do you think Loghain is involved in the Arl's illness?
The Arl fell ill before the king died. But what if Loghain planned that too? Oh, such thoughts do not sit well with me.
We should see what's happening in Redcliffe ourselves. I believe that now more than ever.
If nothing else, I am certain you would be welcomed at Castle Redcliffe. The Arlessa is there, and she could tell you more than I could.
So we'll find out a lot more about Arl Eamon's situation once we go to Redcliffe. For now, I'll leave it at that. Your friend Sir Henrik, that was the Templar, the corpse that we saw on the way into Lothering. It was when we were fighting the bandits. When they came and first approached us, there was a corpse of a Templar right beside them. And if you loot the Templar's body, he had a couple of items that you give to this gentleman here. And that's why this is even a dialogue option. If you do not loot the Templar, then this won't come up because you don't have the quest. So, your friend Sir Henrik is dead. I have something of his.
What? And you have his locket? And a note? Maker's mercy. Thank you for giving me these. I would never have known otherwise.
I dealt with the bandits that killed him.
Thank you. I wonder how many of us have met similar fates on this mad quest.
Tell me more about this urn of sacred ashes.
Supposedly, the urn contains the ashes of the prophetess Andraste. Surely you know all this.
So we would know a little bit about this just based on readings, and the fact that we grew up in the circle, surrounded by chantry folk. We definitely would have heard of it, so... It simply seems like a waste of time.
Nothing I have found leads me to believe that this was anything more than a quest of desperation. With Henrik gone, I need to return to Redcliffe. Perhaps later I will seek out the scholar his note mentions. But I must go. Thank you again, my lady. You have been most helpful.
So, the scholar that the note mentioned is in Denerim, and we can go to Denerim to try and find that person.
And when the chant spreads across all four corners of the world, let it rise at last to the ears of the Maker. Let him hear our unwavering faith. Let him hear our righteous dedication and enduring perseverance.
And then shall the Maker return to us. And then shall the Maker return to the Black City in heaven. And then shall the chant...
Whoops.
Yes?
I guess that's not a bad thing. Okay, so I was mentioning before that in different areas, different people have different things to say. A prime example of that is Leliana. If you bring Leliana with you to different places, she has general knowledge about every location that you visit. So you can talk to her and ask this first question. It only appears when you're actually in a specific location. If you're just like in a campsite or on the road, it won't actually come up. But since we are in Lothering at the moment, it does appear. And if we go to other places like Denerim or Dwarven City Orzammar or the Frostback Mountains, etc., you'll be able to ask this question. She just gives you a little bit of her knowledge about the place.
Lothering? I think it started as a settlement by the river, and then grew when it became the place where two roads met. There are always people in Lothering, but many are just passing through.
So another fun tidbit about Lothering is the main characters from Dragon Age 2 are actually from Lothering. Now, you'll see a lot more about that when we get into the Dragon Age 2 or playthrough. We won't do that until we've finished this playthrough, though. That could be a while, so just because it's such a very long game. We're not going to talk to her about anything else. We'll save that for the campsite. Let's just move on. I was actually trying to click on this book. I just missed.
As you say.
So it's just a bunch more codices.
What now?
I keep saying that codexes instead of codices, even though proper is to say codices.
Let those who seek redemption be delivered. Let those who have sinned...
Actually, let's bring up the codices. We can show you some of the stuff that we've gotten just quickly. If you are actually interested in reading any of this, just pause the video and read it yourself. I'm not going to waste that much time reading through all of that junk. I'll just like summarize the things that I think are important along the way through. A lot of these are just, especially for like the creature stuff, is just stories about the creatures. And then a lot of this other stuff is world lore. And I haven't been doing this a lot, so I probably should have been, but just to make it so I don't have as much to go through in one sitting. I don't know why there's so much. Jeez. It's too much. Oh, you know what? I think a lot of this is actually stuff that we've already gone over. Yeah, all that stuff's from the tower. Oh, this one's not though. Go through that one. It's from the tower. Should have already seen that. Jason's good to go through. Lothering, Ostagar, just in case. Grey Wardens, Tevinter Imperium. There's a lot more stuff about Tevinter Imperium in the next 2 games, and supposedly Dragon Age 4 is gonna be centered heavily in Tevinter area, so we should get a juicy amount of lore about Tevinter in that game whenever it comes out. Who knows how long that'll take. Hopefully not too much longer. I, for one, am particularly excited to try that game out once it comes. I'll probably be playing it on the PC again unless I happen to come by a different system to use before then. For now, best I got is PC, so it was actually a longer one. That's the note from Sir Henrik. That's just garbage. That's garbage too. We don't need to go through all these ones as much, but I'll click them anyway, just in case. I don't know if I was going too fast there or not, but considering all you have to do is hit the pause button, not too worried. Jason, yeah, all this stuff we already went through. Finch's of Ashes, we didn't. Oh no, we did, yeah, that's Gazrath, that was in Ostagar.
And when the chant spreads across all 4 corners of the world, let it rise at last to the
You
ears
can't
of
talk
the...
to both of the Templars, just this one.
What is your name? You seem quite odd to me.
You would not be the first to think so. But avert your eyes. I will not have you staring over long.
Best get used to it. I'll be watching you. We want no trouble here.
Let him hear our unwavering faith.
So that kind of gives the impression that that guy is suspicious of Morrigan for some reason. It makes slightly more sense if you just have Morrigan wearing her usual attire, because it's basically fancy looking rags, and it's quite revealing, and vastly different from the clothing that most people around here wear. So it does make a lot more sense if she's wearing that.
Good day, Sister Leliana. I'm surprised to see you're still in Lothering.
It is good to see you as well, Your Reverence.
I do not recognize your companion. Greetings. Will you be making a donation to the Chantry? Our need has never been greater.
A teeth to the Chantry? Are you joking?
A great number of people could be fed and clothed for a fraction of your finery. But you must do as your heart wills. What can I do for you then?
I want to talk about Sten, the Canary you imprisoned.
It might have been kinder to execute him, but I leave his fate to the Maker. Why does he interest you?
I want him freed. I might have a use for him.
Then his next victims might count you and me as their murderers.
So we don't care about any of that. I think you should reconsider that stance now.
Now we threaten priests. How fun!
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get out of hand here.
What is the meaning of this? You would threaten me with violence?
Your Reverence, please. We are on an important mission. Let us take the Kunari off your hands. I beg you.
I see. And if not, I am to be assaulted. Is this what we have come to?
No, Your Reverence. I will not allow that to happen.
I have more important matters to concern me. Here, take the key to the creature's cage and begone. Do not return.
And when the chant spreads across all...
So, as you can see, more disapproval for Alistair, more approval for Morrigan. And now we can free Sten. There are other ways to resolve that. You saw some of the options appear in the dialogue screen there. I didn't actually read them because they were not my choices for Elia. But they are far more neutral than the way I chose to go about it. Like, we just outright threatened the priest. If you take a more careful approach to it and are somewhat kinder, you don't have to be incredibly kind, but just a little kinder than outright threatening her. If you don't want to do the persuade option, the priest will be very reluctant to let you obtain Sten. However, Leliana will step into the conversation if you have her with you, and she will basically vouch that you are a Grey Warden and that you can put Sten to good use. So she'll vouch for you and convince the priest to give you the key. Another way to do it is if you're a rogue, you can pickpocket the priest and take the key that way. And then you can also persuade the priest just by being a friendly, generous person. And then also the last option is when she asks you for a teeth for the chantry. It's basically a donation. If you give her enough money as a teeth, she will just outright accept that you have good intentions and give you the key to Sten's cage, regardless of whether Liliana is with you or not, and regardless of whether you choose to persuade or not. So, yeah, I think that covers all of the choices for that particular interaction. But now we can go talk to Sten and add another person to our group. So we're working up quite the party so far. We have 4 party members, and it'll be 5 if we get Sten. Now, we don't have to get Sten, we can leave him in the cage. I believe there's an option that you can just kill Sten in his cage as well. We're not going to do that because we want Sten to join us.
So, let me get this straight. You were a cloistered sister?
You must have been a brother before you became a Templar, no?
I never actually became a Templar. I was recruited into the Grey Wardens before I took my final vows.
Do you ever regret leaving the Chantry?
No, never. Do you?
Yes. You may not believe it, but I found peace there. The kind of peace I've never known.
It used to get so quiet at the monastery that I would start screaming until one of the brothers came running. I would tell them that I was just checking. You never know, right?
No, I never did anything like that. I enjoyed the quiet.
Suit yourself. The look on their face was always priceless.
I like that interaction. It's good. A lot of the interactions between the characters are pretty good, though, for the most part. So, let's talk with Sten.
You wish something more of me?
I have the key to open your cage.
I confess, I did not think the priestess would part with it.
So we can outright lie, and say that she agreed willingly. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to go, it doesn't matter, you can be free.
Perhaps we have different ideas of freedom.
Well, then you can atone for your crime by assisting me.
So be it. Set me free and I will follow you against the Blight.
And very well, I'll let you out.
And so it is done. I will follow you into battle. In doing so, I shall find my atonement.
Alright, yeah, thank you, Sten. Glad to have you with us.
May we proceed? I am eager to be elsewhere.
So now it gives us another opportunity to switch up our party. Just for the heck of it.
Oh, blast it.
We'll get rid of Alistair and bring in Sten. Sten is a warrior as well. He doesn't have gear either, so what we can do by adding Sten to our party is potentially equip him with some gear. And we should do the same for Liliana as well. But I'll do that off screen. We'll end the video here for now, and we'll continue right from here next time. We'll just be clearing out the other half of Lothering, the farm portion. There's some quests in that area we can do, including gathering toxins for the poison and herbs for the herbalism quest. And then the other quests that we have to do involve the Chantry board, at least in this area. And we'll go to the Chantry board, turn those in, and then the Chantry board will have a couple more quests for us after we do that. So, without further ado, if you enjoyed the video, remember to give a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.